Welcome to the latest dope episode of the HipPodHedz podcast. A podcast where no sage and no vac discuss their hip-hop inspired moments. Pull up a chair, grab a beverage, fill up your cup and get comfortable.
I'm Hayes, host creator of Chicago Bulls and Chicago Bears Central YouTube pages and podcasts. And listen, I love what Known Sage does. Y'all make sure y'all go and check out his hip hop podcast as well, which is HipPodHedz. You guys make sure you guys check him out on that.
Yeah, like it's kind of like on different spots. I saw it like on Amazon Music somewhere and on different areas. I was like, hey, I actually live really close to that intersection. So
to Lawrence and Kedzie?
mm-hmm.
Are you in the AP area?
Right.
Nice. I can't give out my location, but I love that area. I grew up there. All my friends grew up there. So yeah.
Yeah, I'm kind of like closer to the hospital. The Swedish hospital, basically.
So that's on Foster and what's it called? Well, yeah, I guess let's not get specific about street.
Right. You're close enough.
Yeah, it's somewhere on Foster. Yeah,
yes, sir.
Yeah. No, but Kedzie and Lawrence definitely iconic streets.
Yeah, definitely.
For good and bad reasons. But yeah, love that neighborhood. Hell yeah. All right.
Dope. So I mean, we can probably hop in because my co-host will jump in just a second. But yeah,
man, that's no issue at all. That's no issue.
Yeah, it's like this is another dope episode of HipPodHedz, in my opinion, and we got BAMF BRATT in the building.
Yes, sir. Yes, man. Sir.
Appreciate you, man. Appreciate you stopping by.
Nice.
We had your collaborator, your co-conspirator, Rosie, on the previous episode.
Yeah, man, amazing artist. Like, I look up to her. Yeah, I've told her that before. I look up to her. She's amazing, dude, for real. And that's something that I saw since I guess we first encountered. Or maybe the second time, because the first time I met her, I had no idea she was even a creative individual. But we mainly got to know each other in poetry class or an after school program for poetry.
Yeah.
And I saw how really passionate she was, not just about music, but her own self-expression.
Yes.
And it was amazing seeing her sing for the first time. I remember it was at an open mic at school.
Right.
And before that, we were obviously, sharing music and ideas we had and stuff like that. But after that, I was like, oh, we definitely got to work on something later on. And we eventually did.
Respect. No, respect. Because I think I saw you post on the IG at one point that she carried the whole project. And then
hell yeah.
I had to unpack that. I had to unpack that because I totally respect her flavor and her vibe, but that's dope. I mean, you obviously bring your own style to the whole project too, but she was all on it as well, so it was dope.
Oh yeah, one of my closest homie, he's on the project too, and he's been on projects since I started.
Okay.
He likes to say that I'm I annoyingly stand out. Cause it doesn't matter what I'm on, I guess just the attitude and the character that I have is there.
Right.
But nah, man, Ellie helped a lot with not just making the project sound good, but also reassuring me that these songs were really nice. I definitely take her word for or her opinion, I should say, on whether an idea is good or bad. And she basically gave every song on this project a thumbs up, even the songs that she's not on. But yeah, she definitely carried the project.
Nice. That's good to know because I definitely feel like you tapped into her mythos. And when I first heard the first song y'all collabed on, which I think was on the Mellow Blue project you did a few years back.
I think that was the first one that we collaborated on.
Right.
But there's probably also some SoundCloud stuff that I either deleted or just some shit in the hard drive. But
right.
Oh, wait. My bad. Am I allowed to use profanity?
Oh yeah, please.
Oh, okay, cool. I gotta ask because I got a foul mouth. But yeah, on Mellow Blue, it was Another Day. That's the first thing we ever like,
Right.
collaborated
Yes.
on and
Yeah.
released on DSPs.
Yeah, and like that song that you did on there with Ellie on Mellow Blue, like again, I dug it. I felt like it was something that she was stretching out of her comfort zone to do. But
She was, yeah.
you know what I'm saying? But when y'all did the After Laughter project like together, like I was like, man, like every song tracks, every song slaps, and it's kind of like the theme of you two, like obviously all your other collabs that you had on that project, like it just seemed
Uh-huh.
like you kept tying together the themes really nicely.
Yeah, I feel like I can't I can't take away from her natural ability to like just come up with shit, even if like maybe it's something she's never like experienced or felt before. Uh her skill set and her talent allows her to just like come up with amazing work. But I definitely, just from being friends with her and then also collaborating and throwing ideas with her, I knew that she was always most passionate about like what she was feeling at that time.
Yes.
And during the making of After Laughter, I remember the time when she was definitely, just going through some heartache issues. And I asked her if she would feel comfortable tapping back into that. And not to give too much away about the project, because sometimes I like to layer stuff and I like to let people find out on their own. But there's
Sure.
definitely themes of love and heartbreak in that album. And I knew that she would be perfect to like have I guess represent those parts.
Yeah.
And yeah, she was down for it. She gave me melodies. I worked out the melodies that she like gave me and wrote lyrics. She wrote her own lyrics on parts. It all worked out like really natural. It was dope.
You could feel that she was going through something. It's like her 808s and heartbreaks, pretty much. You think about it. Like
Yeah.
she was in that dark space because I was listening to it driving along the other day when it was snowing outside, and I was like, man, this is something's definitely going on there right there. You could pick up her energy, her vibe. You could say that no, this is a relationship problem. Something just happened. It was fresh. You drew
Mhm.
on that pain, and that sometimes makes the best collaboration experiences because her pain was on front and display in that situation.
Nah, for sure, for sure. Yeah, yeah, no, that's a perfect way of putting it. Yeah, man.
So, Novak, welcome to the conversation. Yeah, we were just kind of talking about all of BAMF Rant's content, but like since we invoked After Laughter, like I think it's the same sort of gem where people say like, like laugh now, cry later. So like
Mhm.
what is it about that theme that you felt like you wanted to keep coming back to? Like that
Um,
message, I guess. You said heartache, but obviously, After Laughter has a lot of layers to unpack.
yeah, to just continue off of what you and Novak were saying. Um, I had to ask Ellie if I could, get her to revisit that part of her life.
Mhm.
And something that influenced not just the consistent theme of Smile Now Cry Later, but also the name of the album was just my own personal and growth and my friend's personal growth. It wasn't just, Ellie that I asked to tap into like her, I guess, dark moments or heartbreak moments. But all my friends that were on the project, I asked them like, hey, this project, we're obviously still making music, so we got to make it enjoyable, but it's definitely my most personal. And one thing that I definitely saw happening within my life was that exact theme. I used to laugh a lot at stuff, and now it's time to actually let some tears out. But funny enough, the majority of the album, if you pay attention, it's still somebody, I guess me, you could say, or whoever it is that listens to it, if they can relate to it, it's them. But it's still this person that's on the stage or on the verge of um, almost crying. The laughter is still there, but it's slowly decaying as the album like goes through. Um, and that's honestly what influenced it. My friends' lives, their personal lives, and also my own personal like progression as a human being. Uh, and also, being a Latino and having family within like the Chicano culture, and also me, being a part of it. one thing that we all hear while we grow up is, the whole saying of smile now, cry later, laugh now, cry later, after laughter comes tears, all that. It's embedded in oldies and also just that culture in general. So,
Well, it's like day-to-day BS. The track day-to-day BS. It's like it's kind of like you guys going through the progression of like, every day there's a new pain, in that situation. There's a new pain, there's a new vibe, there's something you got to deal with. It's almost like people always say, like, you talk about that culture. Every day a little part of you dies, but every day a little part of you is born. It's pretty much the way I took the day-to-day BS track.
Exactly, man. That's a great way of putting it. Hell yeah, because if you pay attention to the lyrics, they're not all the way heavy, but they're definitely, like sad, or I don't know if I'm using this word correctly, but somber.
No, you are.
Yeah. And then if you get a feel for the hook that's on it, it's bright and it's almost hopeful. So there's that whole thing that you said of like every day has some bullshit to it, but the next day you're born again, you get to try one more time. But you also pay attention to that song, and it's also like what allows you to get through the day. Some people use substances,
right?
And that's kind of what I talk about on that song. Because once again, going back to the whole thing about my own personal life and also my friend's life inspiring the album, shit, we be on stuff just to get through the day. But it is what it is. We get through it and we work.
Well, you think about the self-medication in that situation. You think about there's a lot of artists out there that say they never done anything sober. Like, you think about Dirk and the rest of those guys, they always talk about being uninfluenced. You think about Juice WRLD. I don't think Juice WRLD was ever sober. Every track was somber, like you said, but every track was like, I won't say dark. There's a difference between darkness and not being no visibility at this point.
Yeah.
I think for you guys, it's like the white sky when the snow is about to come. If you think about it, like, when I was driving around listening to this album, it was the clouds were white. That didn't mean snow was coming. So I looked at it as, you're waiting for the next evolution in terms of where you guys are going to be as artists and people in that situation. So it's like, this album here is like, man, it's in his feelings, but it's in his feelings in a good way. It makes you think about life and what you want out every day. That's the best way this album, even the cover makes you think. You got the roses behind the back, right? So that means that's love behind the problem, the drama at that point. You think about it.
I'm so glad you caught that. And also to answer y'all question, I do remember one thing that y'all were like speculating on. The tattoo is real. That's my back right there. And the hands are on my mom. Mind you, that was not at all the idea for the cover art in the beginning. Originally, I had like a whole different idea for it. I think I posted some stuff on my Instagram for like alternative cover arts. But my sister took that picture when my mom was getting a look at my tattoo. In that picture, the tattoo was already fully healed after like 2 weeks. And my mom wanted to see it because I was over that day. And my sister just took a picture of it. And I liked it so much that I'm like, you know what? It doesn't even need words. I'm just going to use this. And we kept it. But yeah, no, there's definitely themes like you said with the whole like love behind the pain and stuff. And then also if you know anything about like tattoos and Chicano culture, a lot of the times tattoos hold memories. And not just in Chicano culture, but tattoos in general. And for a tattoo like that to be on somebody's back, it definitely kind of represents that whole idea of like stuff that's in the past. Pain is in the past, good moments are in the past, but you're also embracing the present and the future, which is the roses and also the hugs.
Right. Yeah. We saw it right away. No Sage. When we were looking at that picture, I was like, we're talking Roseli. We're like, this picture is that really BAMF's back? He's like, yeah. She's like, yeah. Yeah, we were trying to figure it out because I kept looking at it. I'm like, man, the work is nice because you see it, and you think about like when I first saw it, you think Yakuza, then you think Chicano culture, you think about a lot of people. Even go out to LA, everybody in LA got back tattoos. Every back tattoo out there tells a story in LA. You see them and like you be like, man, am I missing out on something? I got tattoos, but I'm like, I ain't did my back. But I'm
Yeah.
like, that's pretty nice.
No, I wanted the bag to kind of, I guess, tie me to that whole part of my life. Like, even though, I was never like into for lack of a better term, into the violent side of the Chicano culture. I definitely have family in it. Even now, shout out to my family in the Valley, LA, and also in San Diego. I got family in California. I got family in Texas. I got family here that have those type of tattoos that mean something. And it was me kind of just paying homage to that side of my family because, stuff gets complicated, but I love them and I hold them dear. And it was just, a shout out to not just my culture, but also those people. Also, shoot, before I forget, the person that did the tattoo is also on the album.
No way.
Wow,
Who's
really?
that?
For
Who's that
real.
artist?
Yeah. He goes by the name of Nazario.
All right.
And just to give him a little plug, because honestly, man, this guy is talented, and he's one of the reasons why like I even like continued rapping.
Wow.
But fucking
Yo, okay.
let me see
That.
real quick.
And he's not somebody that you knew from like back in the high school days. He's just
No,
somebody.
he is.
Get out, bro.
Yeah. And he's also familiar with the AP area,
Respect.
Shout out to
Nice.
Kedzie and Lawrence.
Nice.
Goes by Electric Funk. Electric Funk. But yeah, we did the back tattoo in his apartment studio. Shout out to the homie, by the way. I think he just like got an apprenticeship or an actual position at a tattoo shop. But yeah, he's a talented ass dude. And he, provided a lot on the project, even just like his opinion. Once again, Ellie, Nazario, and the guy agent that are on the project, I definitely like asked them for their opinions before the album came out. And they ultimately made it way more better. But yeah.
So speaking of making stuff way more better, I wanted to surprise you because I was seeing if Roseli can pop by. I think
Oh shit! Yo!
Special appearance and collab on your podcast right now, my dude.
Wait, Ellie, are you there?
Let's see if she's probably getting a technical.
Oh shit! Not me getting excited and not hearing shit.
But yo, we invoked her plenty of times. I'm curious again about that Day BS track because Novak was mentioning it. Like you went basically sicko mode on that. You know what I mean? It was kind of like dope how you like flipped it into a different track later on or a different beat.
Yeah. Novak says something interesting about the whole people using substances situation. It definitely is a serious issue, but I guess that's a whole different conversation. That's not what I'm trying to get into. But he mentioned how like Juice World probably wasn't sober through the most of the making of his of any album, honestly. And yeah, no, as somebody who I wouldn't say I'm the biggest fan of Juice World, but like my friends are. Shout out to my homie Eldon, Bosnian dude from AP. Anytime we would just drive around and hang out, he'd always play Juice World. And one of our favorite songs was Blood on My Jeans. The beat switch to Day BS takes heavy inspiration from Blood on My Jeans. And originally that song was going to be named Light Up My World. But I kind of once again pay homage to Juice WRLD by spelling world in all caps WRLD. If you look at Juice WRLD's name, that's how world is spelled on his name. But yeah, the beat switch to Day BS is heavily inspired by Blood on My Jeans and also the song that comes after that has that spelling. But yeah, shout out to Juice WRLD and shit. Shout out to substances. Fuck it. Like, no disrespect, but you get what I'm saying.
Nah, Day to Day. That's the first thing I thought about was Juice WRLD when I first heard it, and I was listening. I'm like, man, this puts me in a Juice WRLD like vibe. But the difference is you guys evolved on that style. So like like Juice is like the thing is he not here to make music anymore. The evolution stopped. So like when you did Day to Day, you could hear the inspiration, but you could also hear what the evolution of what that sounds like going forward. So it's almost like you took it to the next level.
Oh, that's a lot to say. Once again, shit, man. As a fan of Juice, even though I'm not a super fan, nah, it's honestly me just like not even evolving, but definitely taking inspiration from him. I get what you're saying,
Yeah.
and I appreciate that comment, but nah, man, like one other Chicago artist, funny enough, that inspired Day to Day BS is a Chance. I took a lot of inspiration from specific songs on acid rap for that first half of Day to Day BS. If you, I guess, if you go back and listen to acid rap, funny enough, Chance talks about a lot of heavy shit in that mixtape, but the production is so fucking bright that you don't really notice it. And his rhyme schemes also, they're not just great, but they also do a great job at hiding the deep messages that he has in his raps. Which I don't know if he did that on purpose or if that's just how he, raps. But shout out to Chance and shout out to Juice World. And also thank you for the comment. For real, that means a lot. Appreciate that. But
Nah, Chance is like Chance has always been really deep, but he puts that melody on it. He tries to like bring you back to those. Chance could be like 4 people died yesterday at my house. But anyway, I'm having a great time. That's how Chance is. So Chance finds a way to balance out life and death and problems. Like even when he got his brother on the songs, when he puts his brother on tracks, they're two different personalities. It's like yin and yang pretty much. Chance is like a pessimist and his brother's an optimist. so you see him like that. You see him kind of hit heads a little bit, but you can tell that, he probably was beating them up when he was a kid. Basically, you can tell who was the leader of the house. But they got that track off but when they talk about, he was the man in the house, basically, Chance always talk about being the man in the house, when his pops went away and everything like that. And his brother to fall into order and fall into line, but it's dark the way he puts it. I'm the man in the house now. Where like he didn't want that title. So Chance is always playing on pain and happiness, and then he goes to roller skating. That's how Chance works. He goes roller skating. That when everything's bad, let me go to the skate. So that's the way Chance pretty much works. He's got a cycle for his happiness.
For sure. No, I agree with that for sure.
I'm not sure. Were you able to unmute yourself? I know you're kind of like still trying to figure out your technical.
Yeah, I was able to. Hi guys, what's up?
What's up?
Happening. So I want you to spill as much as possible anytime, but specifically, what's going on with the AP world? Because y'all in the high school scene, it seems like y'all keep tapping back to that like slam poetry meetups that y'all were doing. Like it seems like y'all returned to that well a bunch. So what is it about that unlocked your artistry? Like both of y'all, basically.
Do you want to go first, Brat? Or I can.
I want to hear what you have to say. I want to hear.
Oh, okay.
It feels like something special that y'all were cooking up over there. So it's just nice to hear every time you reference it.
Oh, thank you. I mainly use slam poetry as an inspiration for kind of using metaphors for the most part. I really like using vivid imagery in what I write, and I've been doing that a lot more with my personal stuff. So just doing that for 4 years was a really great way to channel all of my emotions into something more vivid and something more tangible. And that's what I really liked about it. And I made some really great friends along the way, including Brat. He's a homie. I love you, Brat.
Thank you. I appreciate you. Hell yeah. Nah, I mean, wait. Oh, I don't know if you were finished.
No, that was dope because you were also invoking the tattoo artists that y'all knew as well. So it's kind of like I'm very curious to kind of see like y'all had a safe space. It almost felt like,
Nah, for sure. In terms of the whole high school thing and the slam poetry thing, yeah, we owe a lot to shout out to Miss Leakin and also Miss Wynn. They were kind of like, I guess, the main people there for the whole slam poetry thing. And like Ellie said, we met a lot of great people. I agree with everything that Ellie said, especially the whole like safe space idea. It definitely allowed us to kind of just freely not only enhance what we already wrote creatively, but also try ideas without being scared. And then adding on the whole slam poetry competition thing, that kind of put an edge to each one of our writing because now we were in a competition. And we, even though we were doing it for fun, we were also kind of just, let's fuck around and see if we could win something. But in terms of the whole AP thing, I think it's just a coincidence. When I was growing up in AP, I wasn't necessarily the most proud AP person. I don't think anybody ever was. But as I grew older and I watched like AP change, and also, homies here and there, either go away or, some other stuff happen. I definitely started to have more pride for the area. And it was only a coincidence that like a lot of AP homies went to Amundsen. Um, I think Elliot has met a couple of them. And then also, I think it was either Novak or you that said that we give a lot of shout outs to not just like the Chicago area, but also AP area. It just comes naturally. Sometimes it is on purpose, we'll find a little rhyme scheme and shit like that, but like most of the time, no, it's just natural shit. But yeah.
No, I dig it. I love it. It's just kind of like actually the guest that popped in Ellie's episode, Q, that's my cousin. He comes in every now and then. He also went to school at Amundsen, so I just
That's crazy.
like as far as like
Wait, really? I didn't know that.
yeah. Him and his
Yeah.
brother, they graduated from there way back in the day when
Wait,
it was
what
not-
year?
I gotta look because like me and Novak are class of 97, so he's a little younger than us. But
Oh, y'all were there in the 90s?
no, I think my cousin was little later, maybe like around the 00 something. But
Still, y'all saw some crazy shit for
no,
sure.
that's the thing. It's kind of like now it's like an A+ school or whatever the hell it is. But he was like saying, man, there was some like brawls going on during his tenure. I'm like, bro, man, you made it, man. You survived.
Yeah, no, just to, I guess, relate to that, my year was definitely, it was kind of crazy, but it wasn't never anything like super violent. But I would say the year above me was the last year that like you saw shit go down. And shit, that's almost kind of like AP as well. Like when I was growing up, my mom would send me to summer camp so I wouldn't go to the park. And so that I wouldn't hang around with my other friends that were in the area because she knew like what AP was like at that time. But nowadays, not just because I'm older and more aware, but also because it is changing, like gentrification and all that stuff, it's different. Yeah. And Amundsen is also like that too now. It's definitely more like, not to discredit the hard work that has been put into that school. And, shout out to good education. They're doing good, but they're definitely different. Different groups of kids and different teachers and different methods of teaching for sure. But yeah, that school is more successful now, thankfully.
My Theo on my other side of the family, he went to Amundsen in the 2000s, and like he said that one of his like fondest memories was him like driving his car through like the fence guarding the parking lot.
That's crazy.
Yeah, he said that. I forgot which security guard it was that called him out for it, but he still worked there when we were attending school. So he just said that like Amundsen was so crazy. Do you ever experience this? And I was like, no, it's definitely changed quite a bit.
Yeah.
I don't know what you're talking about.
War stories.
That's crazy. Wait, Novak, did you go to Amundsen?
I go there. We were in high school. No, we graduated high school in 97. Me and No Stage. I know about Amundsen. I know that because we used to go up there and try to play basketball. It was different. They tried to, you could die trying to play basketball up there. So it's just one of them things where, it's like that was like that. You had I'm trying to think what else is like, it's a lot of schools in that area. Everybody was fighting everybody. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Sullivan was getting whooped by everybody. And and it's crazy because now you're right. Now it's like that school almost a charter. That school's almost like a magnet school right now.
Yeah.
They cleaned it up. Everybody's happy to be there. When we used to go there like for basketball and stuff, it'd be like you gotta get out. When you score the last basket, get to your car. I'm like, what's going on? They threw rocks at our school bus one year. I was like, damn, are they really throwing rocks at the school bus? They were like, we lost the game. We're gonna beat y'all ass. We were like, okay, all right, I see what's going on here. So that's how they roll. I mean, obviously, it's a sneaky way to get your ass beat back in the day because you didn't expect this when you went there. You were like, they really brought that life up here. So
yeah, it's crazy because it's like it's north side, so you don't think nothing of it, and then also it's in the Ravenswood area, which is nice.
Yeah.
But you hang out there at the wrong time, it's still Chicago. Shit still goes down.
When they start screaming that North Pole shit, something's up. They were like, "This is the North Pole, bitch." I'm like, "What?" I'm like, "North Pole."
Nah, exactly.
It ain't Christmas yet.
Yeah, it's culture, man. But that's Chicago. That's just how Chicago is. Every neighborhood every neighborhood got that time period up to now. I mean, now it's gentrification, and kids are like, kids get timeouts and they get hugs for coming in fourth place. It's different. Back then it was you were first to last. That's how it worked in that era.
Nah, no, that's really true. Especially people that like aren't from Chicago, they'll never like know. Like
Yeah.
even though I didn't grow up in this area, I'm about to mention a specific neighborhood, but my dad always told me crazy stories about it because him and my uncles used to always go down there and do crazy shit. But Logan Square is a different world now.
Oh
Logan
yeah.
used to be
Mm-hmm.
insane. Once again, a north side neighborhood, but it used to be completely different back in the 90s and in the 2000s. Now it's just, it's more nice, more pleasant. But yeah, a lot of stuff like that happens in Chicago. It's crazy.
So
Yeah,
Beth, like
it builds character.
you keep mentioning like your fam, and I definitely wanted to bring up one of the themes in the album because like I knew there was a sort of like a heartache plot line of sorts. Like you mentioned your grandma, I think, right? And like going through
Yeah.
I think going through cancer or some sort of like
Mhm.
treatment and kind of like brushing it off like it was nothing. Can you
Nah,
elaborate?
the
Say a word
cancer
about some of
thing is
those
about my
things?
mom.
Oh, right.
Yeah. We had a little scare where she had a lump on her breast, and you know it's very common within the Latino community and also just communities where your people of color
Sure.
to just brush off like injuries, whether they be small or big, and just be like, nah, it don't matter. I'm not gonna go see a doctor. Sometimes you can't see a doctor because you don't got health insurance, but most of the time it's just like, well, I don't got time. I gotta pay bills. I gotta make money. And for a while, we had a little scare that my mama has something. Luckily, I think her last appointment, which was like a year ago, said it was just like it was nothing serious. It's something that could be taken out with surgery. It wasn't a tumor. Um, and this year she's getting it checked again. But yeah, we had a little cancer scare with my mama. But then the grandma thing, grandma gets old, body ain't working like it used to.
Yeah.
So, my grandma's definitely, still kicking, but then there's a bit of issues here and there. Shout out to grandma though, shout out to moms. But yeah, that's what that song was about.
Yeah, I picked up on that, man. Grandmas are like angels on earth, man. So it's like they're the people. They're like the lifeline of every family. I mean, your mom is who she is, but your grandma is like an alpha dog in that situation. So
Nah,
it's like,
real.
yeah, I mean, you right. As time goes on and things start failing and start working, you try your hardest, man, just to make them happy and comfortable. What time we do got left for them in that situation. That's all you can do. I
Yeah.
mean, it's a process, man. Everybody got to go through it, but I guess the thing about it is make sure we're happy when we're doing it. The best way I look at it.
Nah, for sure, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's definitely it.
hmm
Yeah, that whole song crazy. Damn.
Yeah, I mean it's like I just like that you're willing to go in those like insecure moments when you're writing songs, you know what I mean? Because it's kind of
Yeah.
like I guess I'm not really saying anything earth-shattering here, but the idea of a song in general is sort of like a after the laughter metaphor, right? Because it's like
Yeah.
a song, 3 minutes or so, you're supposed to like get lit, enjoy it, laugh maybe, and then after the song's done, then you like decompress, you know what I'm saying? Like, damn, what just happened? And the reason why I'm saying is it's kind of like movies are sort of the inverse almost like it's like movies you're kind of like forced to cry during this medium and then you walk away and then hopefully you can appreciate life. But I just love that, like when there's so many layers to any type of craftsmanship of music, like that's what draws my ear. So like you said, there are bright spots like a chance or like a certain needle drop that you want to put in certain music that you're doing, but there's also heartache that's involved too. So I mean, I think for anything that's what draws me to a project.
Nah, for
So I
sure.
appreciate
I appreciate that. Thank you. When it came to when it comes to like sharing heavy subject matter, especially stuff that's like just flat out personal, like maybe you're the only person that's experienced this, or this is just something that actually happened to you and it's like tragic, or it's just, it's a lot of pain involved. It's hard for me. I guess it comes kind of easy only because uh that's kind of how my art has always been. But then also growing up, like the people around me that tried to mold me into a good person, or just try to help me with my progression, they would always just say like, don't be scared to share exactly how you feel. Like, obviously be wise and don't just share everything about yourself, and be careful who you talk to, but also don't be scared to let out, your emotions. Like, you're not just a boy, you're not just a Mexican man, you're not just a Chicagoan, you're also a human being. So allow yourself to feel every inch of yourself and stuff like that. And also, I honestly have to give a lot of credit to Ellie and also Agent, because that song probably wouldn't have come out without like their, I guess, feedback. Because that's probably my most personal and my most saddest song to date that has been released. Not made, but definitely released. And one last thing about that whole thing, I'm only saying this to, like, I guess, speak it into reality, but After Laughter is a part of a series,
Oh, all right.
which is
Whoa,
why,
Teasing them
the
out.
drop.
yeah,
Tease them
which
out,
is why
man.
you don't have a happy ending, because it's
Hey.
not supposed to end like that. And if you pay attention to the name of the album, After Laughter, what's the full saying of that? After laughter comes tears. So whatever comes next might be that. But yeah, you haven't seen the saddest shit yet.
Buckle
Saddest
up,
shit is yet to
baby.
come. But yeah.
Buckle up, man. I mean, I know that phrase has been used a bunch, but obviously my woo brain is going for the after the laughter comes the tears
Yo, yo.
bar. But
Mhm.
yeah, Agent's like another secret sauce to that project too, because obviously me working with Ellie, I'm just like fanboying all over the place. But Agent got like damn near as many collaborations on this project as well too. Like say a word about that
Yep.
artist.
Shit. First off,
I love Agent. Sorry, I just had to say that.
go ahead, gas him up. He needs to hear that shit. Because I
Yes,
got go for it. Go for it.
I'll just say something small because Brat knows more about Agent than I do, but I met Agent in my first year of high school, and he was just always a great person to be around. Always has such really great ideas when it comes to what was it? When it comes to poetry specifically, I met him through poetry. But the main thing that I always found so interesting was that I was like, oh my gosh, how do you like have your really great wordplay that you always do? You're always able to find a good rhyme, make it so good to whatever verse that you're having. He was like, oh, I used to play like Scrabble with my mom or my grandma all the time. And I'm like, clearly that's what I got to do because I need to widen my vocabulary. He's just so crazy when it comes to making different kinds of raps and music. He's great.
Exactly. Bro, that man built different. That man's thinking, he's not just thinking about the bar or the rhyme scheme, he's thinking above and below that shit for real. And I'm mad at him because he still hasn't dropped the album I produced for him.
Oh man, more teases, more drops.
Anyways,
No, but yeah, I mean, it's like y'all double downing on so many elements of hip hop here because like I think there's some tracks that y'all even like trading bar for bar too, which is kind of like
yeah, that's our first time doing that successfully on this album. And I feel like it was meant to be only because, like, sometimes you get collaborations between artists, and even though it's good, you could tell that it's kind of like formulated. That whole song and other songs that we've been working on come naturally. Of course, we'll have songs where it's just like, yo, maybe we should do this kind of structure with the verse. Maybe we should add a synth here. Maybe we should take out the drums here, this and that. So obviously stuff is planned, but like, yeah, that shit came natural. And I think it's kind of like with the me and Ellie thing, because we've been friends for a while, there's not really any like, nothing has to be forced. And if something just doesn't feel right, then it's just like, whatever, move on to the next thing. But Agent, he's probably the reason why I stayed making music. Because he managed to somehow be the older brother that I never had, and also tell me I suck without telling me I suck.
He's really good at that too.
Yeah,
Criticism. He'd be like, I'm gonna be real with you. I think this is probably better for this verse.
Exactly. He's like he sometimes he's definitely just straightforward and like clear to the point. But
Mhm.
that's if he's comfortable with you and he knows he could take it. But in our beginning of our friendship, before we even started like making music, yeah, it's exactly like how Ellie said. He was very critical of like people in general. And I think you could also see that in his wordplay. Just like he puts a lot of effort and a lot of detail into his rhymes. But
Delivery for criticism. Sorry. I was just
nah,
gonna
nah.
say his delivery, whether it be in his art or having criticism about something, it's always so well executed. Like it seems like he doesn't even have to think either. It comes so naturally in just natural conversation or rapping. So I think that's pretty insane.
Facts. Very smart dude. Very smart dude.
No,
He's a reason I'm
he's got a
probably not in jail
complex.
from him.
No, he's got a complex rhyme style. Yeah, if you listen to it, it's almost like we were talking about this no stage a little bit with Truth. It's almost like they're rapping in the present, but they're in the future when they're delivering stuff. So it's almost like he sees the bar before he finishes the bar. So it's crazy because a lot of artists are starting to see it now. It's a product of being around hip hop and rap for so long that guys now are rapping future tense and they're in the present right now. It's crazy, but he
Yeah.
does have that about him because you listen to the album. There's some things where you feel like you know what he's about to say, but then he changes it because it's almost like it's thinking in terms of this is what they want me to say, but I'm gonna say something else that's totally just out of right field, but it hits home all automatically.
Yeah, no, for sure. He reminds me a lot of I feel like one rapper that could also be described the way that you just described him
Mhm.
is Earl Sweatshirt. A dude
Yeah.
that we definitely like grew up on and also just kind of like look up to in terms of not just artistry but specifically rhyming.
Mhm.
Um Agent definitely has surprised me at times where he'll write a whole verse about one thing and basically it's like it's been done before, like you hear it in other songs, blah, blah, this and that. But the words that he chooses to use and how he uses them are not at all like how anybody else has like ever written a verse about like this subject or that subject. I would compare him to like how AZ is to Nas, or
Uh,
how Ghostface is to Raekwon, or how Andre is to a Big Boy. Like he's still just as good and he's there, but there's just something a bit more special about it if you actually like pay attention to it. But yeah, definitely like a crazy ass wordsmith. He's the one that's definitely like pushed me to rhyme better. Cause they'll see me like write a verse and it'll be like, why the fuck you say that? Why don't you say this instead? And I'll be like, damn, you right. How the fuck did I not think of that? But
Sounds
yeah,
just like him.
exactly. Oh my god. But yeah, that's Asian right there. Oh, and also production. Yeah. He added a lot of notes on the production for After Laughter. And he added what was it? If it wasn't notes, then the one actual instrument that he did add was on Cuts and Bruises. He added a piano and a synth on Cuts and Bruises with Ellie. And shoot, speaking of that song, shout out to Ellie for that shit. That probably would have come out trash without her.
I don't say that. It was really cool to get to work on it, and it sounded really good beforehand. And I'm just glad that I got to add something to it.
I appreciate that, but once again, it would have been trash without you. But yeah, that's
So Brett, you mentioned production, right? Because like, is there different producers on the album? I remember on IG you gave a shout out to Castle Engineers, so I wasn't sure like who was sort of involved production wise. Like I know y'all were cooking up together.
yeah, man. Let me not be weird and actually give some shit that he did on Day to Day BS. There's I don't know how to describe it aside from like how DJs would sometimes scratch records or stop the record with the whole instead of just a straight stop. He definitely added elements of that on Day to Day BS, and also he is the mixing engineer and the mastering engineer for the whole thing, which is why the whole fucking album sounds crisp. But yeah, shout out to Castle for that shit. Really talented dude. I got lucky with that dude because I met him back when I was making like Sloth, and I was still doing stuff on SoundCloud, only SoundCloud, I should say, because I'm still uploading to SoundCloud. But when I was just a SoundCloud artist, yeah, and I hit him up um on Instagram because I think a friend told me about him, and it was kind of like a shot in the dark. I was just like, "Hey, I'm an artist," and he was like, "Hey, I'm an engineer," and it's been like that since then. But in terms of production, aside from maybe some notes from Ellie, or a synth from Marcus, no, I handled that thing on my own, and it was a pain in the ass for sure. It was a pain in the ass. But yeah, that's it on production.
Dig it. I dig it. Well, the final product is definitely worth all the pain.
Shoot, man, I appreciate it.
Nah,
Better
it's crispy. No, it's definitely crispy. You could drop a needle on that track, on that album. I mean, it sounds real good. Because it's the master good engineers and the highs and lows, man, the crisp like that. If somebody, if the treble sounds a certain way, if the bass hits sharp, but that and all the album just sounds good in cars. The album sounds good on any system you play in your house at this point. So I haven't heard any sound. I've heard a lot of sound. Sometimes you hear an artist album be nice, but it don't sound good. And you're like, okay, who did this? Who mixed this album? But nah, no issues on that side. Castle killed that one. The production is nice.
nah. That whole the thing you mentioned about like how sometimes they'll sound like good, but the mix will be trash.
Mm-hmm.
And Agent was on my ass with like how 808s were tuned and stuff.
Yeah.
It was the first album where I really took my time making sure stuff was in key, or if it wasn't in key, that it still like matched. I don't know if that makes sense, but sometimes they have an instrument or two that's in a totally different key, but it works. But yeah,
Right.
Agent definitely gave me a bunch of notes on that. And then I'm pretty sure Castle, like while he was mixing, he was like, "This is fucking terrible," and he added his own thing to it. So I'm pretty sure it's a mixture of that shit. But yeah, put a lot of work into that mix. Yeah.
So like some of your timeline goes back to 2018. So we're like basically 5 years plus, but you're basically saying you've been dropping stuff on SoundCloud even before that, right?
Yeah, but you'll never hear that because it's so bad.
Hey, well, it's all love though. I mean,
Ellie has heard it, and she'll tell you it's bad.
It wasn't bad. I also heard this when I was like, what, like 14? I thought it was really cool. I remember it sounding real cool. Maybe if I look back on it now, maybe the quality wouldn't be as good, but I'm sure I would still be impressed.
Thank you. I appreciate that. But no, it was definitely bad.
But
I don't think I got anything on SoundCloud that's before 2019. I might be wrong, but yeah.
And we asked Ellie when she was on our pod before, like the acronym. So BAMF BRATT, where does it come from? And then for some reason, I think your email has 2 T's. So I'm curious, like if that's your government name or like what's going on there. The 1T or the 2T. You don't have to spill all, but that's where my brain's going as far as curiosity goes.
Nah, I could spill all. It's nothing it's nothing too crazy, honestly. BAMF BRATT. Well, I think it makes more sense if I explain my actual government name first. So my dad, huge fan of pop culture in general. He's the type of dude who you'll meet and you'll be like, damn, this is a scary, crazy dude.
Hey.
But he listens to Cher on the weekends. You know what
I dig that.
He's Cher and Shakira at the same time. Yeah, exactly.
Spirits.
But he wanted to name me after either Brandon Lee, R.I.P., or Bret the Hitman Hart, R.I.P. But I've told this story so many times that it might come as a shock to people. But like my dad laughs when I tell this story. When I was born, he was so messed up at the hospital that he put down my name as BRAT, thinking it was Brett. And then my aunt, who was there in the delivery, she was like, "That's not how you spell his name." And he was like, "Man, be quiet. I know how to spell my own son's name." And I guess in his head, the way of fixing it was just adding another T.
Yes.
And that was my name.
Freestyling right when you come out the womb, my man. Yo.
And I always say I never had a middle name because we couldn't afford one.
Nice.
Yeah. I said that story first only to say that for the artist name, I just wanted to keep it short and simple. I feel like people ask too many questions about the extra T, so I'm just like, for BAMF BRATT, let me just keep one T and that's it. That's all I need.
Right.
Plus, it's kind of funny because it's like if you think of a bratty individual, you think of an annoying person, but
Right.
then it's also kind of intriguing because you're like, who the fuck would call themselves a brat?
Hey.
You know? And then unintentionally, we have a Chicago artist named the Brat,
Right.
who I really enjoy. I enjoyed listening to her growing up. Specifically
Sure.
two songs. I think they were both off the Funkadelic album.
Functified, right?
Yeah, Funkify. There we go.
Yes,
Funkify.
sir.
Funkadelic is a band. My bad. Shout out to Funkadelic though, too.
No, but just the fact that you're dropping the Brad is like give me love here. I love that.
Hell yeah. But when it comes to BAMF, it is an acronym. And Ellie was right. I think Ellie said it. It's badass motherfucker.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. That name, the only reason why I would call myself that, and this is kind of something that I hold true to heart. If somebody gives you a title and it's something as badass motherfucker, and you earn that, you keep that.
Nice.
And it's something that my friends in summer camp would call me because I was just a badass little kid. So
Wow.
yeah. And funny enough, they never wanted to call me by my government name because the adults would make fun of me. They'd be like, oh, who names their kid Brat, this and that. So all my friends would just call me BAMF. Yeah. It wasn't everywhere I went, but a specific group of friends that definitely did see me get into trouble here and there. They were like, yo, that's a badass motherfucker. Oh, that's his name, BAMF, this and that. So yeah. When I came time to, I guess, thinking of a name, I went back to that memory and I was like, yeah, fuck it, I'm keeping that. I'm bringing that back. And yeah, BAMF BRATT was made. But that's it.
I know we're sort of running short on time, so I'm gonna have like Novak come in with some final thoughts at some point. But the gem and the story you just dropped right now is like worthy of a podcast series on its own, my bro. Because like the name, that's respect. That's real talk. Like,
I appreciate it.
like I forget somebody was telling me like, yeah, you get these names, like there's a lot of stuff you have to deal with growing up. Like if you get a name like Porsche or some shit like that. Or
Hell yeah.
Romeo, like, yo, he's not no Romeo. He don't deserve that name. You know what I'm saying?
I'm not gonna say her name. Just I think, hopefully not. Knock on wood. I think the teacher passed away. But I remember the first time I met her, she called. You know how in the first day of school they call out your name,
right?
She was like, and what's your name? And I'm like, Brat. And she looked at me. She's like, ugh, who names their kid Brat? I was like, fuck you, bitch.
Hey.
Some teachers shouldn't be teachers. Some teachers are awful.
They shouldn't, but they're still there. They're still in our school system to this
For
day.
real.
But yeah, no, it's definitely a name that, yeah, it's like you said, one of those names that if you give to a kid, you're gonna have hell like thrown at you as you grow older. The amount of times I heard somebody say, "Oh, your name Brat because you're a brat," it's like, oh my god, I want to blow your brain up with my mind. Like, come on. But yeah.
Well, I love it, man. I mean, I appreciate you spilling all the tea. I appreciate you diving in, and I'm looking forward to the series, man. I'm looking forward to more drops. Obviously, when Agent drops his project as well, it's like,
bro.
yo,
Ellie needs to like also push him to drop it. Cause I'm listening to the demo version of it and I'm like, fuck, this is better than my shit.
Hey.
And no, but for real, he needs to drop it. Ellie needs to drop too.
Hey, thank you.
I was just talking about my friends with it on campus, and I was like, my friend actually produced BAMF BRATT actually produced something for me like a few years ago, and I think I'm finally ready to release it. So I'm in talks with a photographer right now for like a cover art.
Bro.
So that might get released.
You both better be wishing this shit into existence for real, for real.
Please drop it, please. Even if it's not my shit, just drop something. The world needs to hear it.
No, the only thing I have ready is the thing you produced for me. So I got it, and I love that song. And you made it sound really good too. So thank you.
All right, well, you know what? If that's true, then I'm gonna cook up some more shit for it. Nah, we need at least an EP or at least a demo song with the band for real.
Oh, that's also coming up. My My our guitarist is working on it right now.
Hell yeah, let's go. But yeah.
So Novak, yeah, man. You want to close us out with any final thoughts, bro?
Yeah, BAMF and Elliot, I just want to thank you both for stopping through, man. BAMF, man, it's crazy to think about it. I thought when I first saw your name, BRATT, I was like, are we talking about the Hitman? I mean, I thought about the Hitman immediately because you don't see that name all the time. Because I'm a wrestling person too. It's crazy when you think about like how much wrestlers and hip hop culture and just how we use names.
Yeah. Shout out to Griselda.
Yeah,
Griselda,
pretty much.
Shit.
My other buddies, man, they get into like they get into like other wrestling. You got a lot of wrestling venues around the city of Chicago, man. You got a lot of Mexican wrestling, a lot of Chicano wrestling going on, and they do it in Cicero and Berwyn every week. And one of my buddies just work with, I see him on the Conquistador mask and everything. And I'm like, man, I need that mask, man. I could imagine like you do a cover like that with the Conquistador mask, so man, with BAMF with a BAMF t-shirt on, it'd be hot.
Let's just say I might have a music video with a Mexican wrestler in it.
Really? I might know some wrestlers if you need some. We'll talk about it, man.
Hell yeah, I'm down.
I'm ready for that. Yeah, I'm ready for that because I haven't seen a music video from you yet. So definitely more stuff.
Because it's got to be good. I've put out music videos in the past and they were shitty. Yeah, looking back on them, it's fond memories. But like, I think that with, and once again, just to speak it into reality, with the marketing that I want to do to continue pushing After Laughter and also future projects, I'm definitely going to take my time with quality. So who knows, you might get a music video for After Laughter this summer, and you might get one the next summer as well. I think something that artists should do more nowadays is still push the art that they have, especially if it's like quality shit. If you got a dope album and you haven't dropped anything new in a year or two, keep pushing it, But I for sure want to make sure that anything that I market or any ads or whatever music videos that I come out with, I want to make sure it's good. So, I'm taking my time with it. But yeah, that wrestler gonna come.
Man, you bring that luchador style, man. That'd be like a whole like rap style. You think about it.
Shit, nah, for real.
I feel you. Yeah, BAMF, Ellie, definitely want to thank y'all for stopping by, man. The show, it's been nice.
For having us.
We appreciate you. BAMF, we need a whole show just to talk about what you do every day, man. You got the personality, man. I was still like, man, this dude did a TV show. Man, I see what you mean, Ellie. I see what you mean.
It's always fun catching up with BRATT because I always see him like maybe like after like one season worth, and then I'm like, oh, how have you been? And then I hear about so much. It's always so funny.
Yeah, no, she's right about that for sure. Nah, but Ellie be having some crazy ass times too. All the shows that you guys do, that shit looks so
that's fun. Oh, thank you.
Shout out to the band, man. For real.
Thanks.
Fucking what's it called? Venus Overdrive?
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Yeah, I want to thank you guys for coming through. Definitely check us out everywhere podcasts are available. We're on Apple, Spotify, everywhere out there. Might even try to do SoundCloud. BAMF, just for you. We'll try to see if we can get that done.
Hell
yes.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, but definitely go out there and do something dope today. And don't stop from believing.
Fuck yeah, let's go. I don't know if I leave or not. Yeah. Hey. Yeah. Huh. Check me out. Yeah. Out in the city, who fucking with me? Need a new kitty, looking for sticky, missing with hookah. Less is Habibi, don't call it bodega. That's not that city. Shout out to New York, light up a Newport. My Lucy a dummy, but I'm not a newborn. Blood in my jeans, blood in my veins, blood in my DNA. Got the chains. Many men been on the run. Family never knew love. Always been hooked on the sum. Alcohol drip from above. I sit in the booth, sip on the juice, looking like Cole when he sat on the roof. No need for role models when I sip more bottles, just like my dad, cause I don't waddle. When I get hammered, loose with the gram and lose all the glam and manners. But I guess that's how the rappers roll.
control. My models, modelos, I'm not like Cole. This ain't a diss, my father was there, but he really wasn't. You see, I couldn't rely on my pops, cause his obligations didn't include me. I felt like I was a burden, even to mama, so I got into the drama. Little boy trying to get attention, but all I got was the trauma. All I got was depression. Try to numb with the essence. I should've stayed in my classes. I should've learned my lessons. Many men been on the run. Family never knew love. Always been hooked on the sun. Alcohol drift from above. I sit in the booth.
Thank you for listening to the HipPodHedz
No
podcast, a podcast where no back and no sage discuss their hip-hop inspired moments. Share, like, subs, comment to the show on YouTube and Spotify. Go out and listen to something dope today.